There we go. There we go. That should be it. Wow. There we are. Hello. Welcome. How's it going? Yes. Hello. Hello, Devil Rose. First, welcome. Ferocious. Hello, welcome. Rose, first. You were first. Welcome. Congratulations. The more I see that PCC, the less I like it. You're wrong. It's a fantastic little PCC. It's very good. Its aesthetic displeases you. Skill issue. Just have better aesthetics. So the guns we have to clean today, the music is too loud. The guns we have to clean today are the ones on the table. These are all the guns that I shot on Independence Day, on the 4th. And they've just been sitting filthy for a whole day, waiting for me to clean them. Rose, I'm here watching stream Cuba. Cuba? I know where that is. So guns we're cleaning today are the guns that I shot for the 4th. We're probably going to clean this one last because we might not get to all the guns today. And this one is a huge pain to clean on stream. So if we don't get to it, then I have an excuse to not do it on stream because that's a massive pain. Watching stream from Cuba. Cuba's probably not a huge fan of me. If I was gonna take a wild guess. Meant from Cuba? Are you saying you're in Cuba or I'm in Cuba? I'm not in Cuba. So it must mean you're in Cuba. In which case, good luck. That's like playing on hard mode, I think. When Rose rolls up in a blanket, they're not a burrito, they're a cigar. A nice Cuban cigar. Tristan, welcome. Have you seen the movie Fate of the Furious? Probably not. I don't think so. Is it one of the Fast and Furious movies, I assume? I've seen some of those movies. Tristan, hello again. You're gonna say hi on every place I'm multi-streaming so you can get all the highs? You're gonna capitalize all the hellos all for yourself? Oh, speaking of which, I forgot to post a post saying I'm live. So, post, grab Twitch link, grab Kick link, slap those on there. Post. Easy. Got it. There we go. Now we're ready to start stream. It's the 8th installment of Fast and the Furious. Is that the one where it's got like the end where the two guys are like driving down the road and then one of them takes the exit and everyone gets all emotional? Is that the one? I have seen it. It's been a very long time. So, other than literally that part, I could not tell you any details. I'm gonna be honest, I think I might have watched all the Fast and Furious movies. And I couldn't tell you what happened in any of them. Tristan, you love attention? Reasonable. Me too. That's why I'm streaming. That's 7. I don't know. I don't know the Fast and Furious movies. I know that Tokyo Drift was one of them. It was one of the early ones, like 2 or 3. Wait, things happened in Fast and Furious? I don't think so. I don't think things actually happened in Fast and Furious. They just made movies with cool practical special effects. And then started raking in money. Fast 8 is the one where Dom is in Cuba. I've seen the one that has Dwayne The Rock Johnson in it. I don't think that one has a number though. I think that one was just like a standalone movie, not in the linearity of the story, if you can call it a story. I don't know, Fast and Furious, cool special effects. The story is a bit lacking. By a bit lacking, I mean a lot lacking, because I don't remember any part of it at all. The main plot was Vin Diesel's cranium. It's family, or something. I don't know. There were a lot of memes about that, but I don't remember why or what movie it was from. But it was in the memes, so it was important. Brain lag. Are they still making Fast and Furious movies? They probably are. They've got to still be making money off of them, so they're going to keep making them. Fruit Salad Puncher, hello. Welcome. Surplus Springfield 1911 TRP. It's a very specific surplus. All right, we are, however, today, almost half an hour into stream, supposed to be doing gun cleaning. PTR 63. That's the one that's supposed to be the G41 clone, right? Except it's absolutely not. So we've got all these guns, all the guns that I shot on the 4th of July. I did only shoot 9mm because it's cheaper, but still feels like you're shooting a real gun as opposed to 22. Atomic, hear me out. The DOE needs a super safety. You should fund the DOE super safety. Super safeties are expensive. Or I guess the cool 3-position FRTs are expensive. I don't know how much a super safety costs. $170. That's quite a bit. I say super safety is $100. Well, website performance triggers. The CNC super safety. I don't want a 3D printed one. If I'm going to pay for it, I want it to last. There's the Hoffman one. You can just download the 3D printer files, which I'm not going to do. See, there's a cast one. You can get a cast super safety. Sounds like a bad idea. Although, I guess the originals were 3D printed. This is the one you got? This is a link to a GoFundMe. What do you mean? I click on this link and it leads me to a link for a GoFundMe to help fight legal defense. There's some products at the bottom. These don't look like complete kits. Oh, maybe they are. Kit A, complete with curved trigger. Are any of these parts 3D printed? Because if they are, I don't want it. I don't want it. Due to minor variations in manufacturers, some minor fitting may be required. Please see our instructions and information page for more details on fitting and common issues. So you're paying $100 for this thing that, like, probably is gonna work. And there's the rare breed one, which I absolutely am not gonna get. Who makes them? Who? Force reset trigger AR. I'm not gonna buy the rare breed one because they're doing scummy things. I want one of the 3-position ones. Because if I'm gonna get one for use in the DOE, like the DOE it's a clone receiver. So even though it doesn't have the third position, it has engraved on it where the third position would be. Atomic. I had no issues. Put mine into 3 different guns. Well, I assume once it goes into one gun, it'll go into the rest of the guns. ARs are pretty standard. Oh my goodness, I have to get through so many pop-ups. Atreus Super Selector, out of stock. $200. There's the performance trigger, the Flex 3 MR. And that one's $270. That one's only $70 more, and you get the whole cassette trigger with the 3 position for safe, not reset and reset trigger. I don't know. Triggers are expensive, chat. I have the $40 one here. $40 Pembleton trigger. It's about my budget, chat. Not the BATFA. I wouldn't be searching for the term FRT. The term is owned by Rarebreed. Super Safety and Active Reset are more used. Well, I got a few different ones searching for that. Active Reset AR trigger. I'm getting all the same ones. Mantis, that's not what I want. I'm not looking for a training kit. Super Safety. This one that's a terrible picture and I can't tell what it is. It looks like a Super Safety though. See, I don't like the Super Safety with like the push button safety. It's gross looking. And this is a clone gun. I'm not going to put a push button safety on a clone DOE gun. What buffer weight do you got in it now? Oh, whatever mil-spec is. Super Safety with direct blowback? Why? But why? Mess with buffer weights? From what I can tell, unless you're getting like one of those cassette style triggers, you are gonna have to like tune your gun to it. Bolt bounce. I can't imagine it'd have very much bolt bounce. Because it was originally made to be auto. There is a Super Safety variant with traditional safety lever. I believe you. but I didn't see one. Colt used the hydraulic buffer in theirs. Ah, I've got the Colt bolt. I just need to get the hydraulic buffer, and then we'll be good. Easy. Nothing could go wrong. Colt's hydraulic buffer. Heavy buffer. $40. Oh no, that's not a hydraulic buffer. That's just a buffer. $100. Can you see the bolt profile? Yes. When we get to when we finally get to cleaning the guns, which will happen eventually. Liam, you recommend I put adult stream in my title? No. It's marked for 18 plus. I don't have to put adult stream in my title. I had my first gun before I was 18 because my dad gave it to me. So I'm not putting adult stream. That makes it sound like I'm doing suspicious things, but I'm not. They felt uncomfortable because they didn't know it was an adult stream. Skill issue? My stream is marked 18 plus. If you view an 18 plus stream, you should expect that. Caller said they didn't get any warning about the stream being 18 plus. To prevent young people from being uncomfortable. If people are uncomfortable, they can leave. That is always an option. I'm not like chaining people up and forcing them to watch my stream. If I was doing that, my view count would be higher. Let's be honest. If someone's uncomfortable, then they're not required to stay here. That's how that works with every stream. Ban them? I'm not going to ban them. They're not doing anything harmful. Yeah, it's just we're just gonna be cleaning some guns. Safe educational stream. When I got uncomfortable in biology class when they were talking about reproduction, you know, that's an adult topic and I was under 18. Huh? All right, I've been streaming 41 minutes and we have not yet gotten to the gun cleaning. Caller said you were shooting animals and doing harmful stuff. Absolutely not. This is an educational stream. I have literally never shot a gun on stream. Nor have I threatened someone with a gun or anything else. No, I'm not. Chat, I'm not banning them. I'm not banning them. They're not doing anything harmful. It's fine. This is an educational stream, chat. We're not going to ban people unless they're causing actual harm. If someone did come in here actually saying threats, then yes, banned. But as it is, none of that is currently happening. Oh, Tristan, what do you think of the Atreus selector? I was just about to start cleaning guns. Atreus selector. Oh, spelled with a K. How edgy. Oh, this is the weird one. It's got like a little thingy on it. I've not seen one of these in use. And none of their pictures show what it looks like in the gun. Compatible with mil-spec AR-15 chambered in 223, 556, 300 blackout. I mean, I have those, but it doesn't say 9mm. PSR has a video on it. Funny enough, in a DOE clone. Oh, maybe chat. Triggers are still expensive. And this one has a clone correct mil-spec trigger in it. Partly because it's clone correct, and partly because that was the cheapest option available. The trigger stays the same. Just the safety changes. Well, this one has a clone correct safety as well. All right, we are going to finally start actually gun cleaning, for which I have to move this out of the way. I know you all are very sad that the Taurus can't stay on screen the whole time. PSR's video makes it look sick. Yeah, that's like his job. PSR is very good at making things look cool. Cap, show me the third position on the safety cam. What do you mean show you the third position? You will notice it does in fact have 3 markings there, if that's what you're talking about. It doesn't have a third hole, so that third position, it literally doesn't move to. It only moves between the first 2 positions, no matter how hard you push it. I'm sure if you push it hard enough, you could break it and make it move over there, but then the gun won't work. Ferocious. One of my first introductions to PSR was the Deadpool one. No, I can't unhear Deadpool. That was a long time ago. I'm pretty sure that video doesn't exist anymore, on YouTube at least. Maybe if we have time, if we have time after we clean some guns, we can watch some PSR, perhaps. Mayhaps. We might take a break in between cleaning guns. Oh my, that is a 27-minute video. And holy moly, those are some very short shorts. It was just yesterday? The Deadpool? Deadpool PSR was not yesterday. That was like years ago. Foofy! Hello! Hello, Foofy! Hello, Raiders! Welcome! Hello! Hello, welcome! Celebration has arrived. I see that. I see that. How was your stream? I watched a little bit of it. It's like a third person tower defense. It's something that was going on. Gun Guy, that's me. I'm Gun Guy. Hello. Hello, it is me. One of the Twitch gun guys. But hello, Raiders, welcome. We are just about starting to, almost an hour into stream. We're about to start cleaning some guns. So, oh no, the notifications were quiet. I had the notifications muted because we were doing different stuff yesterday. Oh no. But today we're going to be cleaning some guns in a safe and educational manner. Hello, welcome. Hopefully Foofy's stream ended as well as the part that I watched. What color nails is Foofy gonna get? I think that was the topic that I had to leave on. Foofy was talking about getting her nails done. My vote is black, but I might be biased because I often paint my nails black. Not right now, but blue for sure. I've decided what kind of blue. There's lots of different kinds of blue. Is it that kind of blue? Like a nice like Hatsune Miku blue? Or like a good royal blue? Eric? I also would have voted for black. I see we have goth fans in the chat, perhaps. At least emo fans. What did you do to I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Smokestack. Vote was for light baby blue. Light baby blue does seem like it matches Foofy very well. Black nail Foofy would kind of be, there'd be a little gap moe. There'd be a bit of a difference from Foofy. Perfect cyan blue, perfect for hiding in someone's Wi-Fi. That just sounds like extra steps to hide in someone's walls. All right, we are going to get into gun cleaning though. So, excuse this dirty old rag. This is what we clean guns on, so I don't ruin my desk. And also, I need my crime scene gloves. Because I don't want to consume way too much lead. Not inside your wall. Under my desk. Under my desk. There's not very much room under there. At least when I'm sitting here. I need longer gloves. This is always a problem. Look at how short the fingers in these gloves are. Look at that. See, my knuckles are way back here. No one makes proper finger length gloves. Why is that? Why is that? No. My fingers are long. They're not that long. They're just a little bit long. Oh, the ring's not going to go very well in there. There we go. Prepped, ready for surgery. You gotta wear rings on the outside of your gloves so that so people still know it's me. Otherwise, they might not know it was me because they can't see my hands. All right. So the first gun we're cleaning today is the Grand Power Excalibur, because we gotta have the chooniest named guns ever. So we are empty and safe, as always, but especially when you're taking apart guns. Blood stain on the rag? It's not blood. It's just old stains from cleaning other guns, chat. It's not blood. It's probably like rust stains or something. I don't know. It's not blood. There's no blood on the rag. I'm a vampire. I wouldn't let that go to waste, right? Don't lie to chat. Chat, do your clothes and your rags, are they just laying around stained in your food? I didn't think so. I expect all of you have good eating habits, good hygiene. Yes, 100%, I assumed wrong. I clearly assumed wrong. Right, but first gun we're cleaning today. Yes, another yes. Chat, keep your mouth closed while you're eating. Don't let it all dribble out. Food is valuable, it's important, and it's tasty. Don't waste it. Unless you're in an eating competition. Then you probably want to sneak as much food not into your mouth and get away with it as possible. All right, first gun we're cleaning today is the Grand Power Excalibur. This is a European competition gun. So these are not super popular in the United States. I'm told, although I have not been to a lot of European competitions, that they are popular there. And this is mine. So, to disassemble this, for those who are familiar with something like the PPK, it's got a little lever right here. You pull down, and you pull back on the slide, and then it just kind of comes off. And this is kind of a handful, but let's see if I can do it on camera. Come on. This is a very awkward angle to do this at. Just want to let you guys know that. Okay, I don't think I can do this over here. Okay, so you pull it back, and then it just comes off the front. This is really awkward to take apart. And in here, you have your, it's running away, rotating barrel, which theoretically comes out. recoil spring, and the frame. All of this is attached to itself very well, and I will not be taking that apart because I'm lazy and that's a lot of work. We are going to clean the rest of this though. Tristan, my clothes have blood stains. Are you okay? Is everyone else okay? Krusty, spilled all the ketchup on my clothing. Not the ketchup. Ketchup is a valuable resource. What else are you going to put on your eggs if you spill your ketchup? All right, first things first. Honestly, I shot this gun quite a bit yesterday, but if we look down that, it's still nice and shiny. We're still going to clean it, but it's not actually very dirty. So first, put a little stuff down the barrel. And let that run down. And then we're just gonna let that sit while we clean the rest of the stuff. The rest of the gun. Ketchup on eggs? Yes, ketchup on eggs. If Japanese people can do it, I can do it too. Mayo. Mayo on eggs. Mayo on eggs? Gross. Gross. I'm not gonna let you shame me for putting ketchup on eggs when you're out here putting mayo on eggs. What on earth? Mayo is made of eggs? You use eggs to make mayo? Well, yeah. You use eggs to make mayo. You don't combine them again afterwards. Is ketchup on eggs not just a normal thing? My family's always done that. So, when I was growing up, here, this is my villain backstory. When I was growing up, I was an absolute ketchup fiend, and I put ketchup on everything, including eggs, and people made fun of me for it. People made fun of me when I was just a small X count for putting ketchup on eggs. And so, little X count didn't want to be made fun of, so he stopped putting ketchup on eggs because people made fun of him for it. And then when X count got older and grew up, he learned that people put ketchup on eggs, and that the people making fun of him were just ignorant and they didn't know what they were talking about. So there was a whole section of my life that I missed out on ketchup on eggs because people made fun of me. Guns and knives. You can't be saying you and Gotcha aren't roommates when y'all are both cleaning guns at the same time. We're not roommates. This is a popular time to clean guns. The 4th of July was 2 days ago. My birthday also coincidentally was 2 days ago. And on both of those days, your birthday and Independence Day, you got to go shoot guns. That's just how it works. And then you got to clean the guns after you shoot the guns. There you go. How do you feel about Spam chips with mayo dip? I, in general, am not a huge fan of mayo. Unless it is like a mix mayo sauce. So unless it's something like, I don't know, like a sriracha mayo. Nah, get that out of here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Another raid. Call me Dick. Hello. Also, notifications are unmuted now, so you can hear the swanky raid music that appeared out of nowhere. And I don't know where it's coming from, but it's here. But hello, call me Dick. Welcome, Brazilian man. How is it going? So hello. I guess I can intro again, if you can count what I did last time as an intro. I always forget to do intros for raids. I should work on that. But hello, raiders. We are currently cleaning guns because I shot guns on the 4th of July as a true freedom-loving American. And so now we got to clean them because I'm crazy and clean guns after every single use. Hello, call me Dick. What are you doing? Playing Blue Archive? That game's got some gun. That game has some guns in it. Who's your Blue Archive waifu? No, I don't like that. I don't like that. Those are all like high schoolers. Who's your favorite Blue Archive character? You smell lead? Does lead have a smell? Probably. Everything has a smell. I know gunpowder has a smell. That's a good smell right there. Very nostalgic for me. I need some Q-tips. Where's my Q-tips? Yeah, there. For those who don't clean guns often, Q-tips, incredible gun cleaning tools. Because you can reach them nicely into hard to reach spots and get all the grossness and grime out. It's like cleaning your ears, except instead of cleaning out earwax, you're cleaning out like lead and explosive residue. Don't have a favorite, but Tsubaki is very cute. She's a tanker that carries a riot shield and a VZ61. The VZ61 is a very cool gun. Very iconic gun. A little top folding stock micro submachine gun. I need to get one at some point. At some point I will have one of those. I probably will wait until the registration cost for it decreases for the short-barreled rifle. Ooh, woo. I can't believe I can't believe that redeem still exists. Why does that redeem still exist? Just to torture me. Yeah, that's probably the reason, honestly. Oh, chat, I have been toying with the idea. Not seriously toying with, just casually toying with the idea of going to TwitchCon Except like, it's kind of expensive, right? And it's in California, which means that it's more expensive because you also have to have somewhere to stay that's not under a bridge. And like, if I'm traveling in Texas, right? Like when I went to the Demo Ranch event, like I literally just like, I drove there, parked my car on the side of the road and slept there overnight. But that doesn't seem very safe to do in LA. LA is where TwitchCon is, right? I don't think you can do that in LA like you can in Texas. Which means you have to get a hotel. And that adds quite a bit of cost. But I want to go to TwitchCon. TwitchCon seems like it'd be super cool, super fun to do. Maybe if I wait long enough, they can have KickCon for Kick streamers. Probably not though. There we go. Slide, all cleaned, nice and shiny and clean. Spring. Springs are always weird to clean. Oh, people are still shooting off fireworks. You guys can definitely hear that. It's a war zone out there. It's not, it's just fireworks. All right, in the frame. This frame, honestly, it's a lot better to clean than a lot of frames because it's got this big block that catches a lot of the griminess that would get down into moving parts. So it's a very closed system on these Grand Power pistols. Like you've got a little gap back there where the hammer moves. And then that's about it. Obviously the magazine pokes out from there. That hole is required. That's a good hole. But other than that, like when I open up this gun up here, just all the internals, all the mechanical bits are going to be showing. This one blocks them off pretty well. So it prevents them from getting a lot of the grime on them, which is very, very handy for cleaning. Where did my brush go? Whatever. This gun isn't very dirty. We'll just use cloth. Yeah, right there. That big black smudge there. If it didn't have this big plate blocking all the grime from the components of the gun, all of this would be in those components. And they probably would still work fine. But it's better to just keep them clean. This gun is very easy to clean though. Big fan. Unfortunately, it's going to be a huge pain to reassemble when we're done cleaning it. But until that point, it's very nice. All right, there we go. Frame clean. All we have left is the barrel. All right, we got our bore brush. This barrel was not very dirty to start with, but I'm still going to clean it for good measure. I do say this every time I clean guns. When you're cleaning a gun, if you're using the brush, I always insert it from the back. That's what she said. Or maybe that's what he said. Don't overthink it. And then you push it all the way through, and then just pull it out the front. I don't like pulling it back through. I don't know if it actually is bad for it. It all the way through. Clean my gun anytime. No, clean your own gun. Clean your own guns, chat. It's a good habit to be in, cleaning your guns. I've seen a lot of people not clean their guns often enough. Louis, seen Gotcha Guns do the same way for cleaning his guns. It's a good way to do it. Hold on. I'm gonna see. Can we get the camera? Seems a little dark. Is the camera a little dark, or is that just me? Maybe it's just me, because the automatic exposure. Whoa. I'm gonna mess everything up playing with the settings. Okay, well, I have scared myself off of playing with the settings on stream. Maybe a little dark. Well, we're gonna have to deal with it because the camera settings scare me too much to play with on stream. And then for the little piece of cloth to push through, that comes with every cleaning kit. There's a little like eyelet attachment for the rod that you can stuff the cloth in. But I have found that if you just stick the cloth on your little wire brush and then push it through, it works exceptionally well. And also, then I don't have to change out the attachment on the end of the rod. So is this another instance of me being slightly lazy? Maybe. It very well could have started that way. But it ended with me just liking doing it this way better because it is incredibly effective. Except you do get little strings that you have to pull off of your brush. Slotted tips or jags, the brush works fine. Not the BATFA. Exactly how I do it. Never use the jag. So there we go. See, can we focus on the inside of that, perhaps? Very shiny. Very clean. Wow. Shiny like jewelry in there. Except it's on the inside of the barrel. So you don't really want to look down the barrel of the gun very often, particularly when it's assembled. It's not recommended. Now we reassemble. Yes. I'm gonna wipe off the follower of the mag. Does it matter? No, but it's a bright orange, so I want it to be bright orange. All right, now putting this thing back together is exactly the opposite of how you take it apart, except more difficult because you're doing it backwards. So, how you put this rotating barrel gun back together? Because the barrel rotates. Kick Growth 12. Thank you for the follow on Kick. Oh, and I'm sorry, M21 Rifle. Thank you for the follow from Foofy's Raid. I'm sorry I missed it. Thank you. Thank you for the follow. So, the barrel in this rotates and moves back and forth. So when you're putting this back together, you have to keep the barrel both rotated at the correct orientation, as well as at the same place forward and back. And then put the top of the gun, or I guess the bottom of the gun, on the top of the gun, while keeping the barrel in the correct spot. And this is my least favorite part of this gun, which is a very cool... Oh, the barrel moved. Hold on. This is a very cool gun. I'm a big fan of this gun. It's a wonder to shoot. But it is an absolute misery to put back together. Oh. Do you see how smooth that was? That's the fastest I've ever gotten this thing back together. Oh, look how smooth that is now, too. That's nice. I'm just going to wipe down the outside one more time because it has gotten oil and stuff on it from my gloves. Smooth. This is a very nice gun. Honestly, like if you're looking for a kind of performance competition-y kind of gun, Grand Power has released a newer version of this. So this is the Excalibur Mark 12. They have moved on to the Mark 23, which means these, when you can find them, are much cheaper than they used to be. And that is very good, because these are very good guns. And when they were new, and the new hotness, or the in-production hotness, at least, they were kind of expensive. I will warn anyone looking to buy this gun. There are two versions of this gun. There's this one that has the rotating barrel. You can see it rotating there as the slide moves. There is also one that has a standard tilting barrel, the same as a Glock. And often you can find these for the same price as the tilting barrel one used, because people don't realize that there is a difference between the two. And the tilting barrel one is much cheaper, which is how I got this one. Because I bought it from a shop who deals in used guns, and they didn't realize that there was a difference between the tilting barrel and rotating barrel versions. And so I got this for the price of the tilting barrel version. Barrel isn't ported, just slide cuts. Yeah, so it's It has some very aggressive slide cuts, but they do not go all the way through the barrel. All of the cuts on this gun are very aggressive. So you've got very deep cuts up here. These do go all the way through the slide. So I don't know if, oh, you can kind of see it. You can see the barrel rotating through those ports there, which is kind of cool. And these ones in the back, also very deep cuts, which is very good for getting a grip on the gun. And you would think that these would be super sharp, but they're not. I mean, they're not like smooth, but they're not going to cut you. And they're very nice to grab, very nice to hold. Honestly, super underrated gun. Huge fan of it. Not sponsored, but Grand Power, you know, hit me up. Very cool gun that is now clean. So, which gun next? Which gun next? We've got 3 more, at least. We've got a 4th off screen, but it's large. And honestly, it's a huge pain to clean on stream because it doesn't fit very well on the desk. So we've got the 635, cool retro clone build, the super speedy Glock, and the Rost Martin. Can we see the big one? Yes. Oh, since Call Me Dick, if Call Me Dick is still here, he's a huge fan of this one. That was sarcastic. So this is a Brazilian 9mm carbine that's based on one of the Brazilian service weapons, based on the Taurus SMT.
Deploying reinforcements.
Varda125 just followed on Twitch.
Varda125, thank you for the follow. Welcome. So this is a Brazilian imported gun. I have done some work on it, so it takes better magazines and stuff. But it is still 9mm. It's cool. I have more work I need to do. Like, it's got this weird thumb hole stock, and the originals had a cool folding stock. So as soon as I'm able to get my hands on the original stock for this gun, this one will be disappearing. Getting my hands on the original stock, though, has proved to be a monumental pain. One day, though. One day I'll figure out how to get one. Man, I can't believe people are still shooting off fireworks. I guess it's still the weekend, but they gotta use all their fireworks before the weekend's over. I decided. I made the executive decision. We're cleaning this one next. So this gun is a very cool gun. I posted a video on my Twitter, my X, on July 4th of this gun being shot. It was of my dad shooting it. But this gun, video of it shooting, slow motion video of it shooting. This gun shoots very fast. It is not automatic. This is not an automatic pistol. If you watch the finger there, you can see the trigger is being actuated for every shot. Doc points for slow-mo. It's a cool slow-mo. If I unmute it, it also has cool music. Let me pause the other music. There you go. But so that is this gun. Very fast. Very fast gun. Read the music for full experience. Now it's too quiet. Now it's too quiet. Pause the other music. Could say it's a work of art because it's an active reset trigger. I see what you did there. Good gun puns. So this, even though it looks like it does, internally this is just a Glock. This is my custom Glock. So you gotta pull the trigger, disassemble it. And this is very hard to grab with gloves on. You're not beautiful, Joe. So slow-mo is cringe. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. Should I know who that is? There we go. Easy takedown. And this is what I was talking about with the last gun. The Grand Power has got a big plate here that blocks all the junk from getting into the action. This does not. You can see straight down in there. Actually, you can't see very well because it's dark. I can, however, get a light for that. If you give me 2 seconds. Light. The last one was easy to see because there wasn't anything to see into. It was just a plate. So this, we can show both that you can just see straight down into all the internal workings of the gun, as well as this little fiddly bit right here is what helps the trigger move super fast. So this little bit right here, that interfaces with the rear of the barrel. And so as the barrel is moving, it acts on that and will push the trigger forward so that you can pull the trigger back even faster next time. Megalum. The only reason I don't like slow-mo in gun videos is because automatic or active reset fire is really pleasing ASMR. I like the slow-mo. I have a lot of other slow-mo footage that eventually I probably will be using at least some of in a video about this trigger. But until then, there's the trigger. And you get that video. What I did learn though, from the slow-mo of this gun, is that this gun cycles so fast that the magazine, and yes, it is a Glock OEM magazine. The magazine does not move the next round up in the magazine fast enough for how fast the slide is moving. So I think I'm not sure what I need. I need either a lighter or a stronger recoil spring. And I don't know which one. So I'll probably just buy both and test them both. But this gun, very fun, very fast shooting. It does not work particularly well. It works well enough to be a lot of fun, though. All right, we're gonna do the same thing as last time. Start with the barrel. Put some of our stuff, some of our cleaner down in the barrel. Let that work itself down for a second. And then while that is working, clean everything else. We'll put that to the side and then clean everything else. Would you Form 1 a Glock frame and put a stock and vertical grip on it for the active reset trigger after $0 tax stamps take effect? Yes. Yeah, yes, that's an easy question to answer. Of course. I'm going to Form 1 everything. Whether I'm Form 1ing things as SBRs or AOWs is yet to be determined. Ferocious, I don't want a paperwork. So I already have a lot of things that make the paperwork a lot easier. So I guess we have a lot of new people here still. So for those who don't know, if you want to put a stock on a pistol or shorten the barrel on your rifle, then you need to register it through the NFA, the National Firearms Act. Pay your $200 tax, submit your fingerprints, photo, do a whole bunch of paperwork, and notify your law enforcement officer and all this stuff to put a stock on a pistol. So that's what we're talking about here. Ferocious, if I want to take it out of state, it's coming out of state. Yeah, you can still do that. You can still do that with SBRs. You just have to notify the Attorney General, I believe. You're not doing that. I mean, if they're going to require me to have paperwork, then I'm going to give them paperwork to do. Like, if they're going to make me suffer through paperwork, I'm going to make them suffer through the same amount of paperwork. Then, what was I saying before? I already have quite a bit of stuff that makes the registration through the NFA quite a bit easier for me. So I have my electronic fingerprints done, so I don't have to do fingerprint cards. You can just submit the electronic fingerprints. You'd have to pay for those because it has to be like from an approved source, someone who's like got the licensing to do it or something. I don't know the exact details of how that happens, but it does. For SBRs, I think you have to put a request to the ATF to cross state lines. I'm pretty sure it's just a notification, although I have not done it, so I could be wrong. Take that specific thing with a grain of salt. But on that form, to take your guns to a different state, you have to have obviously which gun it is that you're taking, as well as how long you're supposed to be there. And then if you get delayed, or you are there for longer than you expected, then you have to do follow-up forms for when you actually expect to be returning. Which is just the whole process. The whole process is awful. But it's what you got to do to own a slightly shorter rifle. Or a pistol with a stock on it. I mean, I guess you could do it illegally, but don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, my neck broke. Hold on. Give it a second. I'm a heal here. Just a second. Hold on. There we go. Q-tip time again. One benefit of having this bright blue slide, it's really easy to tell where you still need to clean because it's not bright blue anymore. Except the rails, of course. The rails, the blue has been worn off. My neck broke. Be not alarmed. It'll be fine. Vampires heal pretty well, so my neck breaks sometimes. It's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. Oh, something I should have said earlier. For anyone still hanging about from the raids, I do a lot of gun things. That part should be obvious by now. But because I do a lot of gun things, a lot of the time I will throw around words or phrases that are just like ingrained to me because I eat, sleep, and breathe guns. So if you ever hear me say something that you're like, oh, I have no idea what that means, please ask me to explain it. Because I do want to educate people. So if there's something you would like explained, please ask. Which is better, 19 or 19X? So that is going to be almost entirely personal preference. So the difference between the 19 and the 19X is going to be the color. The color is going to be different. The 19X is going to be brown. But other than that, the 19X, the grip is going to be slightly longer. So the Glock 19 is the compact version of the Glock 17, Glock's standard full-size gun that they did recently discontinue. Very sad. And so it's the Glock 19 has a slightly shorter barrel and a slightly shorter grip. And with the shorter grip, the Glock 19 only holds 15 rounds. But if you go up to the Glock 19X, then that grip gets longer again, while keeping the short slide and barrel. But you go back up to 17 rounds with a slightly larger grip. They discontinued the 17? They did. Glock discontinued the 17. Now, they discontinued the manufacture of it. Don't go out and like panic buy one, because they are still everywhere. There apparently are a lot of them sitting in warehouses all over the place. So they discontinued them, but they will not be running out anytime soon. What's a cruciform and a striker? That's a joke. Don't you tempt me. Don't you tempt me. What Glock do you recommend for a first-time handgun? So my favorite Glock is the 17L. I will admit, though, being the longest Glock, it is somewhat... Oh, let me slap my mic stand real quick. It is somewhat extra. If you're a first-time Glock buyer, it's probably a toss-up between like the 17 or the 19X or the 45, I guess. The difference between the 45 and the 19X is that the 45 is black and the 19X is brown. Definitely been looking at the 19X. Yeah, the 19X is one of the most popular ones. You definitely will not go wrong going for that one, especially for a first Glock or a first handgun in general. Don't forget about the Glock and balls you promised. But they didn't pass the full HPA. They didn't pass the full Hearing Protection Act. I still might do it. Come January, I probably will still make a suppressor out of a balls soda so that we can have the Glock and balls with the Glock and the balls suppressor. Because I think that'd be hilarious. First time even buying one? Congratulations. Do actually train with it. Be comfortable using it. There are an unfortunate number of stories of people who buy guns and then don't know what they're doing with them and accidentally cause injuries to themselves and others. So do familiarize yourself with your gun when you buy it. Probably the thing that new Glock owners do most often that is bad, and I'll demonstrate with this, my actual Glock here. So a lot of times new Glock owners, when they get a Glock and they disassemble it, in order to disassemble a Glock, you need to pull the trigger. A Glock will not disassemble without the trigger being pulled. So when you're disassembling a Glock, be absolutely sure that it is unloaded, so that when you pull the trigger disassembling it, you don't accidentally put a round into your wall, your leg, or your girlfriend or something. Because all of those are very bad. And once you have the trigger depressed, the slide comes off the front.
Deploying reinforcements.
But you do have to pull the trigger to disassemble it, so be absolutely sure that the gun is empty before you do that. Spread the love. Are you a furry? I would never put on a fursuit. But I cannot deny the appeal of certain characters that people would describe as furry. Isn't the biggest mistake most new Glock owners make being a gangbanger? Don't be a gangbanger either. I hope I don't have to tell you to do that, but like, don't be around gangbanging with your Glock. Not ideal. There's this weird little front channel on this gun, right in there. It's got a weird ridge on it. It's really hard to clean, and it doesn't have any impact at all on the functionality of the gun. It's just there, being hard to clean just to spite me. I'm not a furry, but I might bang one. Hey, you know, after a, you, you know, you gotta wait till marriage. But, you know, then once you're married, if you're married to an anthropomorphic character somehow that doesn't exist, yes. Yes. Unfortunately, I have never been attracted to a fursuit. So there is that. I think I'm safe on that end. There we go. I think I will call that clean, nice, bright blue, as it should be. Great. Got a great question. What's a good flashlight laser in your opinion? So in my opinion, I would try to avoid lasers other than for training purposes. The practical applications of a visible laser. Now, if you're talking about an IR laser, and then that's a whole different situation. But a visible laser probably wouldn't use in any like practical application besides training. A light though, I mean, if you're looking for budget, the new Harbor Freight weapon lights look pretty good. I've not bought one myself yet, but they do look pretty good. I'm gonna be honest. It's just a clone of a Streamlight. But if you don't want the Harbor Freight one, then there's a lot of good weapon light brands out there. Weapon lights do tend to cost money though. They're proud of them. Springs are one of those things that I wish I had a sonic cleaner for. These things are very annoying. Only 50 on the Harbor Freight. Yeah, the Harbor Freight lights definitely seem like the best bang for your buck. Pun intended. But they do only have the one model so far. So if you're looking for something more specialized or a slightly different shape, then you're going to have to go with someone else. But those do seem pretty good. That sounds weird. Spring ASMR. Okay. Okay. I am far more entertained by that than I should be. I'm sitting here, I'm gonna floss in between the coils of this spring
reinforcements.
like a crazy
Young Money
person.
All Cash One just followed on Twitch.
Young Money All Cash 1. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. How's it going? And there we go. I think I'm going to call that good enough on the spring. And now we got that. Oh. What is that? I don't know if that's going to come through on camera very well. There's like sludge in there. Oh. Somebody sludged in my gun. Gross. Megalum, my bad. How dare you? I did drop this in the dirt once, accidentally. Probably a little bit of dirt. Probably like a clump of dirt got in through the giant slide cuts and then mixed with the oils in there and became sludge. It's gross though. Luckily it is coming out easy. There we go. That came out easy. I'm gonna have to get a Q-tip for a little bit. It's like back in there, but other than that, that's not bad. Tristan, I want to set up a mall with either SF Turbo or Modlite OKW. I have heard of both of those, but I cannot visualize them in my head. I definitely have some of the guntism. Not too much of the weapon lights tism though. Need more Q-tips. I'm going through a lot of Q-tips today. All right, and this one is going to be a lot harder to clean the inside than the Grand Power because it does not have that nice handy plate protecting all the internals from sludge apparently on this one. I'm actually gonna have to try and get as much of this stuff out of here as possible. Various residues. There we go. I think that's okay. $18,650 for the lights. $186,000.50 for the lights. It's a lot of money for a light. There you go. I'm gonna call that good. Call that good on the frame there. And for the barrel. Oh, yeah, we've got some of the sludge in the bottom of the barrel too, to match the stuff that was in the frame. Gross. I'm just gonna wipe that off real quick. There we go. Sludge gone. And we'll brush again. Press it in from the back. Come out the front. And luckily, after we finish cleaning this gun, it is much, much easier to put back together than the first gun, than the Grand Power. Take our patch, push the patch through. Man, none of these guns have been, the barrels have been all pretty good. Apparently I was shooting some pretty clean ammo compared to what I do sometimes. What ammo was I shooting? I think it was just AAC ammo, honestly. I guess AAC ammo is cleaner than like Winchester white box or whatever is cheapest. There we go. Look at that. Nice. Nice and clean. So shiny. Very shiny. Good thing any reflection on that is going to be distorted by the curve of the barrel and the barrel cuts. Otherwise, you could see my reflection in that. Just drop that real quick. I'm gonna oil this one a little bit. I'm just gonna put some oil right here on the rails of the frame. And then that will oil the rails corresponding on the slide, as well as a little bit on this shelf here, the locking shelf on the barrel. And the locking tab on the bottom. Locking surfaces and high wear surfaces. Then we can put it back together. This is really hard to thread on with with slit gloves. My gloves are too oily. Where I would make a Diddy joke if I was much less tasteful than I am. No.
Gotcha Guns. Just
Gotcha.
with 75 viewers.
Hello, Gotcha. Welcome. Welcome, Gotcha. How was stream? I saw you also were cleaning guns. Welcome. Welcome, Gotcha. Welcome, Raiders. We just are finishing cleaning up our second gun. Cleaned 4 guns. How many have I gotten done? This is the second. We just got the second one done here. So this is gun number 2. This is my extra fast firing Glock. And it's only been 2 hours. That's an average of like 1 gun an hour. I think that's a pretty good pace for gun cleaning stream. So this is, we are empty. This is a really awkward to rack while keeping finger on trigger. This is a force reset or active reset trigger in this one. Very cool, very fun. Schlong Glizzy. This is very long. This is longer than a 17L. I know that because I have a 17L. And it is longer because of the threaded barrel. Pretty good. Took almost 2 hours for one. So far, we've only done pistols. So far we have done the Grand Power rotating barrel pistol and the extra speedy firing Glock. Oh, gotcha. I was gonna ask you. So this gun, it's got the active reset trigger on it, so it shoots really fast. This gun struggles with, I figured out, thanks to high speed camera. The magazine does not feed the ammo fast enough for how fast the slide reciprocates. Do I need a heavier or a lighter spring? OEM Glock mag? Yeah, OEM Glock mag. I tried a couple of them, and they all had the same issue. Heavier? Heavier spring? That's kind of what I was leaning towards. But the light spring I was looking at was on sale. Try a 33 round mag? I did. The 33 round mag worked even less. So with this mag, it's just a standard OEM 17 round. When it was fully loaded, it wouldn't work very well. But if you only loaded like 10 in it, it worked way better. So I thought it might be something to do with the friction as you add more rounds. But maybe I just need to buy some compliant magazines. Buy some California compliant magazines for my extra fast firing Glock. Just get lighter bullets. I mean, I was using 147, so there are lighter options available. Except it worked even less with those, so I had the best result with 147 instead of 115 or 124. 115s just didn't work like at all ever. 124s kind of worked, and 147s worked the best. Heavier recoil spring may bring fire rate lower, increase reliability. That's what I was thinking. Honestly, I might just buy a few recoil springs, because it's not going to hurt to have extras. So I might just buy a few different weights, try them out, see what works best. All right, so we have at least 2 more guns to clean. At least 2 more. We've got the Rost Martin and the 635, as well as the Taurus carbine, if we have time. I don't know, we've already done 2 pistols. Maybe we do the 635 next. Except if I do the 635, then I have to move it away from its strategic, slightly off-screen position that hides my shame. Don't forget that once you get the timing correct to buy a 50-round magazine, Yeah, I'm gonna buy the Glock balls for my speedy Glock. Is that the Colt AR SMG for the Department of Energy? It is. This is it's not an original. It is a clone. This is the Colt DOE. Ignore that. Do not perceive. This is pretty heavily the PSA reproduction with some small parts changed, because if I start cloning a gun, then I cannot be stopped, except apparently by a tax stamp. But now they reduced the price of the tax stamps, so I gotta wait till January. Originals are too expensive. Originals are very expensive. And you usually can only get the uppers for the original, because the lowers are too fast. If GOA wins their lawsuit, you won't need the icky brace anymore. Yeah, the chances of the GOA lawsuit getting through before January is very small. How much are original uppers? The last original upper I saw, I think it went for like 23 or 2400 just for the upper, which honestly isn't terrible. It's not excellent either. So this is mostly the PSA on this one. I do have the correct stock for when eventually I get around to doing the tax stamp, but we're not there yet because I'm lazy and poor because I keep buying guns. But parts that I have changed from the PSA, I changed the dust cover. You can zoom. I'm gonna zoom in for this. I changed the dust cover. So the PSA dust cover is not a cut dust cover as it should be. It is a rounded on this side. It is a dust cover that is made for 9mm, not an actual cut dust cover. So I had to replace that. And other than that, the big thing that I changed was the actual bolt. So the bolt in this is actually a Colt 9mm bolt. So someone asked to see it earlier. So this is actually the Colt. Zooming in again. That is very hard to see. Good thing. Got a light. So it is actually the Colt profile bolt. This because it is a Colt bolt, not whatever generic bolt that the PSA comes with. It is actually a Colt bolt. Oh, it got brighter. Okay. I can see 100% these idiot courts saying that even if it's $0, it's still tax, or saying, you're right, we declare it must be at least $1 and not getting rid of the registry. I don't know. I'm not going to try to say which way it will go. I'm not going to try to predict it too much because there's too many factors. And it's impossible. It's impossible for me to know. Would the gooseneck red dot fit on that? I feel like the front sight is in the way. It should, yes. There are pictures of these guns being used with gooseneck mounts on them. Oh, that was a weird noise.
Shago F just shared 100 bits. Try to say that 10 times as fast. Colt bolt, colt bolt, colt bolt, colt bolt, kobold.
Kobold, a kobold. Thank you for the 100 bits. 10 times fast. Colt bolt, colt bolt, colt bolt, colt bolt. Huh? Nope, you got me. It's impossible. Yeah, so there are actual pictures of these being used with gooseneck mounts. One of my favorite pictures is a picture of one of these being used with a Seymour gooseneck mount, and that just that looks so good. So at some point I'm gonna need a Seymour gooseneck mount for this, and an old Seymour to put on it, of course. Until then, the iron sights, they're not bad. Did you get one of those reproduction Seymour goosenecks? I think I missed it. I also missed it. I made the mistake of thinking like, oh yeah, there's no way those are gonna go fast. And then all of a sudden they were all gone forever. Gooseneck mounts are the way, 100%. Based and seeing more pilled. I have a non-gooseneck mount that I could put on here. It's not a fancy one, but I could mount just something random on here. But it's not a gooseneck mount, and I need a gooseneck mount. Have you seen the new Beretta 92X Enox? Is beautiful. I have not. Is it just like the standard Beretta Enox coloring? Because they've got other Enox. Beretta. Oh, caps lock. Beretta 92 Enox. Silver. It looks a lot like the Beretta Performance, except not quite as shiny. Starting $929 MSRP. It's not bad. It still suffers from the Beretta slide safety, which is the biggest weakness of the Beretta M992 series. Which is why the Taurus one is better. Because the Taurus version doesn't have that. I food and lurk. Hope gun cleaning goes well. Thank you for the lurk, and thank you for the raid again. And have good food. 92X, not FS. Does it not look the same? It's okay. It's got a rail on it. I don't know. It looks like the 92X Performance, except like brushed nickel instead of polished. It looks fine. It's okay. Decockers are better. It's true. Beretta needs to bring back the grip safety. That is a hot take right there. Don't say that one too loud. All right, let's put some stuff down the barrel. Let that run down there for a second. I swear this SKU was already available. They all look the same. I mean, there are some very small differences between them. It doesn't have the rounded back strap as you get to the bottom of the grip. Or I guess the 92X does. It's got the Picatinny rail. But they're all very similar, I'm gonna be honest. Beretta is like the fancier version of Glock. They pump out the same handgun for decades with minimal changes and facelifts. I can't argue with that one. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, can't argue with that one. The flat back straps are a crime against ergonomics. I don't mind the flat back straps. Like they're not awful. I can see how they would be bad for someone who doesn't have like skeletally thin hands. But for me, I don't care. It makes no ergonomic difference for me. You have freak yaoi hands, you don't count? Wow. Profiling me based on my hand shape? How dare? How dare? At least Beretta does rifles and shotguns instead of horse jizz. Hey, you know, with the rise in popularity of horse recently, you know, maybe a Glock Performance Center will see a rise in customers. Okay, so hold on. Well, I've said I'm not going to play the horse game. I will play the horse game if they add Glocks Johnson to the horse game. If I can roll for Glock Johnson Uma, then I will play the horse game, chat. They've been seeing a rise for a while. I'm sure they do. Every time they get an order. There's no way. Okay. The charging handle on a direct blowback AR, not going to be very dirty. Give that a simple wipe down. Call that good enough. If they don't do it, they are officially less cool. Exactly. I want to roll for Glocks Johnson in my Uma game. I need the extender rod. There we go. Is that really one of their horse names? It is. You can look it up. And you can also order Glocks Johnson's special formula, if you know what I mean. Glocks Johnson is part of their Performance Center program. Their Performance Center product line, if you will. Don't think they will. It's only JP horses, probably. But eventually they've got to run out of JP horses, right? Right. Especially since they're getting such a big audience on the Western side of things now. Like they got to add some Western horses, which if I knew any of them, I would name drop, but I don't. My biggest problem with DI guns, they get so filthy inside. Cleaning pistons is also bad. You know what's really bad? Oh, lost our thing. You know what cleaning is really bad? Roller delays. Cleaning roller delays is miserable. I don't quite understand. I do understand why, but it's terrible. Cleaning roller delays is the worst. My L1A1 is a pain to clean. Easy till I need to clean the piston. I mean, cleaning an AK piston, super easy. You just don't do it because it's an AK. I still do because I'm crazy, but that's why L1A1 is superior over the G3. I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure about that one, Chief. FAL though. That one's pretty all right to clean. That one is pretty easy. Mine in particular, not so much. Just because it's obnoxiously large and cumbersome. That doesn't have anything to do with the actual cleaning mechanics of it. L1A1 is an FAL though. But have you tried cleaning one that's larger? Slightly different furniture mounting. Can't interchange the furniture. Sad. What if you want to put a cheese grater? I don't remember what the L1A1 has on it for furniture. Definitely need Q-tips for this. It's got the weird corners in there again. Basically the same furniture as FAL. Fiberglass and wood options, but they're proprietary. I wonder how long is it going to be till they add FAL to Girls Frontline 2? I think FAL was reasonably popular in Girls Frontline 1. Q-tip time. Filthy. It's filthy in here. There we go. That's pretty clean. That's pretty clean. I recall seeing Canadian L1A1 wood furniture for sale. And my L1A1 has Aussie wood. Are you going to build the Canadian clone? Is it going to be Canadian clone time? I need my finger to be just a little bit longer, and then I could perfectly reach everything I needed to. Expensive. Yeah, I'll be honest, that's usually a deciding factor for me in terms of buying stuff as well. Things are very expensive. I'm not a fan of it. Even longer? Yeah. I can almost reach all the way to the end of the track for where the T charging handle goes, but I can't quite. Because the receiver gets thinner. Or I guess the hole in the receiver gets thinner. And I can't quite reach the rest of it. Just a little bit longer. Just like a 1/4 inch. In the lower. Mostly on the lower, we just need to clean off this feed ramp here. The rest of it should be fairly clean still. None of the rest should be getting too much nonsense on it. I've got my keyboard in my lap, so it's not in the way, but it's getting in the way. I had a microfiber cloth like sitting out ready that I got for cleaning guns. Except I started stream and it vanished. And I don't know where it went. So we're just using the same cloth that I have the gun sitting on to be cleaned. Just folding it over. Alright. We need a brush for this. There we go. Why would you use microfiber for cleaning guns? I've only ever used it for cleaning glass and optics. Because it picks up oils really well. And also, they're pretty cheap. There we go. There we go. Sticking the mag well a little bit. Probably not super needed, but we're here anyways. Oh, there's a bunch of schmutz in front of the feed ramp. How dare they? Why is there stuff in front of the feed ramp? It's almost like it's not a perfect sealed system. There we go. There we go, that's good. Shago, I'm out. Got a load to deliver. Well, it's important. You gotta be sure to deliver your morning loads. I hate mornings. I think everyone does. I don't think morning people are real. Morning people are just trying to gaslight people into thinking that they like mornings. All right. Put a little oil on this. Look for the shiny spots to put the oil at. Gecko, you love mornings? No, you don't. Stop lying. Nobody likes mornings. I refuse. I refuse to believe that there's people who like mornings. And then we put it back together. Nice, easy, simple. There we go. Nothing like a 9 a.m. walk in the park. 9 a.m. is like technically morning. The gross part of morning is like 8 a.m. and before. Nine a.m. That's an acceptable level of morning. Although, if it was up to me, I would sleep every day until like 3 p.m. There we go. There it is. $6.35. Done and cleaned. That didn't take very long. I'm going to wipe down the outside once because I got my gloved fingers all over it. I'm probably going to have to do this again after stream as well because I undoubtedly will end up touching this again and getting it all oily and gross again. All right. Oh my goodness, I'm getting so many YouTube notifications. Why is everyone releasing their videos like right now? All right, you guys, by you guys, I mean people like an hour and a half ago wanted to see the PSR active reset safety or whatever is going on here. And so it seems, we've got one gun left. You take a break from gun cleaning. Watch gun go burr. Play. New 3-position FRT just dropped a month ago.
1,000 rounds of 9 and about...
That's not where the video header was. .635 spray painted with a tack rail. With a quad rail. Oh, he's got a whole bunch of different uppers on there. That quad rail goes pretty hard. I'm gonna be honest. That's a pretty cool quad rail. How much money do you think he spends on ammo for every video? Oh my goodness, he is cheeked up.
Are you ready to do some demolition, brother? I hope so, because today we're doing a review.
Hey, where do I get some
on
shorts
the
like that?
Atreus Super
Oh my
Selector,
goodness.
Baby. Safe, semi, and super semi. This is sick. This is a relatively
Super
affordable
safe.
3-position safety, not a trigger actually. It's actually a safety, very similar to something like the Super Safety. And we're going to do a lot of testing with this thing. We've got this thing is awesome. It's
The
my
bulge,
ADM
chat.
UIC 14.5.
Look respectfully. Look respectfully.
AR I own. And then we've got, because I wanted to try blowback 9mm this time, we've got this PSA upper on a PSA lower with a KAK Colt Mag conversion. So it's a pistol. We have their car brace thing on here. We've also got the Super Selector in here, and it is a whole lot of fun. We're gonna talk all about it, kind of what makes it cool, and we're gonna do some comparisons with the Super Safety. But before we do that, we just gotta run a mag through each of these guns. Time to let her absolutely piss. Here we go, we're just going straight into the 3rd position. Let's tear this
So we got the
motherfucker
9mm
down, eh?
first. That was a lot of steel ringing. How far away was that steel?
3-position Super Selector, let's give her pissed. Let's talk about it, eh? Before we get into the rest of this video,
His
I gotta
pants
thank
are
the
more
channel
high-vis than
sponsor,
his
as
vest.
always, Aves Engineering.
It's true.
Guys, if you are squirting out your own glizzies, I mean, never in a million years would I ever squirt out a squirted glizzy, ever. But if you were, you know,
I
you
don't
might
like
use
that.
Aves for all of your rail needs. Any kind of Glock that's Gen 3, they got the rails for it, as well as machine locking
That is
blocks
the worst
and
possible way to phrase that one.
Guys, Mac Daddy, mac and cheese. You're gonna love that stuff. And never in a million years, use PSR for 10% off your order. Thank you again to Aves for sponsoring this channel. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of PSR. So we are absolutely gonna just let her piss today. We got probably 1,000 rounds of 9 and about the same amount of 2, 2, 3, 5, 5,
he really
6
likes
that we're gonna
pissing.
try out with this new Atreus Super Selector. The Atreus Super Selector is a forced reset trigger system. Well, it's really a safety. It's got a lever and a 3-position traditional kind of selector.
I'm gonna add the Super
Semi, and
Selector
then
to my
forced
throne.
reset mode, just like you would see it on the Delta Team Tactical.
I don't think there's
version.
anything on
However,
my
it's
throne.
not
I
a
think I just
cassette
made an
trigger like
account.
the Delta Team Tactical. It's just a safety, and then you use a mil-spec trigger with. Now, I recently heard about the developments with regards to the forced reset triggers and the government's agreement with Rare Breed triggers about their trigger and the patent and whether or not they're going to enforce any kind of restrictions on the triggers. And while it seemed like a victory at the beginning, it doesn't seem like much of a victory now, because it seems like it's just pretty much a government approved monopoly for Rare Breed, and it doesn't apply to handguns, which is very odd. But as it stands right now, these are all forced reset triggers, which fall under the definition of a forced reset trigger, which means every single shot you pull is one single function of the trigger, even when it's extremely
It's an
fast.
active
Because the bolt
reset
carrier group
trigger.
is coming back and tripping
Hey,
the
T-Mag.
lever, causing the trigger to reset. That is what allows it to go so fast. So fast, in fact, that it's hard to distinguish it from something like a machine gun when you're just looking at it from normal motion.
That's
We're
a
gonna
lot of
actually get into
brass.
some slow motion and show you guys what it looks like in slow motion. Let's talk a little bit about the guns that I have here and what the setups are. But first, I gotta thank the video sponsor for today's video. I'm proud to say it, guys. Why am I wearing this construction outfit? Well, it's because I'm hard. I'm hard at work.
Yeah,
Thanks
we
to
can
our
tell.
video sponsor, Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, guys, they are the place to go for all of your intimate
Is that where you got your
tactical
shorts?
needs. They have sponsored videos in the past, and I just think it's cool that a company like Adam and Eve is willing to sponsor 2A related content. We got the construction worker fit going on. This is all provided to me by Adam and Eve. So if you're trying to look a little bit slutty at the range,
Yo,
impressive
Adam and
ladies,
Eve
check out
sells
Adam and Eve.
high-vis vests.
And we also, of course, had to shoot some ballistic gel. So this they provided as well. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the Great American Challenge because it was actually out of stock. Shouts out to you guys if you use some ballistic gel
Oh,
for
it's so
stocks
over.
for your testing. Go to adamandeve.com and use the code PSR and you will get 50% off your first order plus free shipping and rush processing. Very discreet packaging, and they have 24/7 customer service. 50% off.
What
your
if I
first
want it
order,
to be
free shipping,
not
rush
discreet
processing with the
packaging?
code
What if I'm into
PSR,
that?
guys? Thank you so much to Adam and Eve for sponsoring this video. All right, so starting with this guy. So we just shot this thing from the hip, and this thing's awesome. So what do I have on this thing? Well, this is a Colt reproduction.
This dude is
by
Deadpool
H&R, basically a
IRL,
635
except he's short.
clone, and I wanted to do
This
like
guy's
a
like
modernized version of
5'5".
it, and I actually saw the Midwest Industries front sight post M-LOK rail, and I was looking at my other one that I have, and I was like, this is a 5.56 with the gas tube and everything, and I was like, man, I wonder if this would fit on the 9mm. So I just went ahead and took off my handguard, you know, did the permanent Delta ring cut, handguard retainer cut, threw it on there, and it worked. So I think this is super cool. So this is kind of set up to be like a modernized Colt 635 SMG. Of course, we've got Colt mags in here, and like I said, I've got that KAK Colt mag adapter, which is really sweet, so you can just throw it in any lower, which is really awesome. This is just a PSA lower. The can on here is really sick. This thing is super lightweight. It is the ABF4.
It is a very small
It's a
can.
direct thread, 1/2x28 suppressor. You got a Radian Raptor LT charging handle. Of course, the brace from PSA, which I really
the
like.
brace is
Looks
so
a lot like
ugly.
stock, but it's not. We got a sling here from Advanced Warfighter Solutions and the
All
Romeo
braces are
MSR on
ugly.
the top as well.
There
as the
has
Tiger
not yet
Claw
been
grip here and the
a good-looking
AMFJ
brace.
Penumbra laser. The carry handle adapter for this T2 footprint optic is awesome. It's by Amaru Designs. Really love it. You can actually still use the rear and front iron sights on here. I did do a paint job on this. I used Rapco paint. Shouts out to Rapco. They're awesome paint.
Oh my,
Love
how many
this.
sponsors
There
does this
is
man have?
Actually a modification, which I'm not going to tell you how to do, but there needs to be a little bit of material taken off of the weight inside of the bolt carrier group for a 9mm to function with this trigger. Next up, we got our ADM UIC. This
Okay, so if I was going to get one of these selectors for the 635, you need to reduce the weight. Did he say the weight of the carrier?
which I'm not going to tell you how to do, but there needs to be a little bit of material taken off of the weight inside of the bolt carrier group for a 9mm to function with this trigger. Next up, we got our
The weight
ADM
inside of the bolt
UIC.
carrier
This
group.
thing's awesome. I haven't really changed much. I've added a Reptilia grip, fully ambidextrous rifle. Comes with Radian charging handle. It comes with a Geissele trigger, but we have put our mil-spec, I think this is the Dirty Bird flat face trigger in here. It's like a nickel Teflon one. And that is what I found works best with this particular Super Selector force reset system, but you can use pretty much any mil-spec trigger. There's no actual modifications that you need to do or anything to your trigger to get this to run, unlike something like the Super Safety. We also have another AB can on here. This is the A10. Really nice, compact, lightweight
Is he
can.
sponsored
Traditional baffle design,
by
so
AB
no real
cans?
lowered back pressure, but I
do
really
they
do
send
like
him
that
free
on this
stuff?
gun. We've got
Probably.
a spur mount here with Primary Arms Magnifier 3X and their pretty budget red dot on here. Additionally, I wanted to test it with a couple more setups and kind of compare it to something like the Delta Team Tactical 3-position FRT, which we have on my SBR here. So this is the Delta Team Tactical Ambi 3-position FRT, and it is a drop-in trigger, the whole trigger itself. It is quite a bit more expensive than something like the Super Selector. Talking price, the Super Selector is retailing, I think, at $199. It is quite a bit less than our Delta Team Tactical,
Quite a
which
bit.
is right around $550.
$500.
Sometimes $475 on sale.
You can get a whole
That's quite
new gun
huge
for
difference.
that.
That means you could get almost 3 Super Selectors for the price of the one Delta Team Tactical. Delta Team Tactical did send this to me. I don't have a paid relationship with them or anything, and so did the Atrius guys. They sent me this. I generally just want to compare them and see what the positives and negatives of each are. And then we have something else that's probably the least expensive option, and that's something like the Super Safety here. This is a cross-bolt safety, which also
Cross-bolt,
does
push
the force
button.
reset thing. And that's probably going to be the cheapest way to get into something like this, but a lot of people prefer the actual lever that you're switching like you would normally do on your you know, standard
Probably the
M4
cheapest way is to just
platforms versus
3D
the
print
crossbolt
the
design,
super
which some
safety.
people, you know, it takes a while to get used to, and you kind of have to finesse it into the middle sometimes to make sure you're in the right spot. We also have this PSA 10.3-inch upper that I just really love. I love this front side post M-LOK look. It's such a cool combination of like modern and vintage and retro. It's awesome. Lastly, we have just our H&R SMG. This is the DOE 9mm. I did make the modifications to the upper so that we can run it with our Atrius Super Selector lower. So we're gonna try this as well. Now that we've gotten the gun setups out of the way,
I don't want to
think it's
modify my
important to
guns.
look at the differences actually internally without telling you guys how anything is installed or anything. This is
That's
just
not a
how
reversible
something works.
modification.
Hopefully YouTube don't strike me. We're gonna show you just like what each trigger looks like internally. So this is the Atrius Super Selector. This is a pre-production version that I have. The new version, and maybe I'll show it on the screen if I can get it in my hands before this video comes out, but it's gonna have a Torx screw here, so you won't be messing around stripping this out. That's a big problem with some of these. On the other side, it has just this little bit of raised portion there. I don't know if you can see that, but it is protruding ever so slightly. They do plan to come out with a ambi version. I think it's gonna be a little bit more expensive, but still, you know,
Why does it
relatively affordable.
protrude?
This here is gonna look very familiar if you know what the Super Safety is. This is our lever, and it is almost identical to the Super Safety, and I'll show you the Super Safety in a sec, but this is what's basically getting tripped by the bolt carrier grip when it comes back and moving forward. It's coming forward, this is in the semi position, and that allows that hammer to go. This is a Dirty Bird Industries trigger. I think it's pretty affordable, like 40 bucks or something like that, maybe less. And then in the third position mode, same thing, it's just gonna keep going. That is the design. You can see
It's
here,
just gonna keep
this
going.
lever
Got it.
is nice and thin. It's a little bit thinner than a Super Safety lever. There is a spring also in here, so when you go to the third force reset position, the cam kind of like moves into the center. That's regular semi, and now this is FRT mode. You can see it kind of moving in the center
did
with that
not
spring in there. Now comparing
have a
that
nice
to something
click
like
to
the
it.
Super Safety, it looks very
That just
similar.
looks like
as
it
you can see.
squished over
it's
there.
Just moving differently with the crossbolt safety nature, but it is pretty
I like
much
the tactile
same
clicky
thing. Now,
safeties.
the name Super
looks
Selector
squishy.
does kind of give a nod to the Super Safety design, and of course the creator and designer, the genius behind the Super Safety, is none other than Mr. Tim Hoffman at Hoffman Tactical. All right, so that's your Super Safety. Very, very similar design. Now let's look at the Delta Team Tactical one, which is a bit more complex. If you can see, I've run this on 9mm, you know, a couple thousand rounds at this point, suppressed, and it is super gummed up. Still does function, but that is one thing I've noticed with this trigger is that you really have to clean it every once in a while. I think
That's
that's
the
because
Delta
it's
Team
just got a
one?
little bit more of a complex design. There are some definite benefits to this trigger. One being that I was able to run this in an MCX. You can run it, I think, in an MPX. The Super Safety and the Super Selector, I could not get to run in my MCX. I also couldn't get the Super Selector to work in my MP5, which I thought it would be able to because it's very similar to the Super Safety, which will work in an MP5 with the right lower, but it did not work. So that's the Delta Team Tactical design. And like I said, it's like a drop-in cassette trigger. And that's the trip bar, which is a little bit shorter and in a different location, and it only goes that far forward. So that's the advantage, I would say, to the Delta Team Tactical. And it does have a pretty nice semi-auto trigger pull. So we've also got this POF piston upper we're gonna try it on. We've got my 300 Blackout that we're gonna try it on, and we've got a couple more 5.56 offerings. I don't have as many calibers today as when we did the Delta Team video,
He's got,
but I think
what,
it'll be a
9,
good
5.56,
measurement
300 Blackout?
of how well it'll work. Should be a lot of fun. Let's get to doing some more demolition, shall we? Oh, dick! Our,
That Super
Colt
Selector does look pretty
635
good.
reproduction by H&R, Harrington and Richardson. We're just gonna shoot some Supers, some 115s here. All right, we're gonna go just regular semi-auto real quick, test her out, a couple shots here.
Semi-auto. I mean, I guess it's going to be
Honestly,
semi-auto
having a
either
regular
way.
mil-spec trigger feels great. Stretch it out a little bit further. Nice. All right, let's see, do a little bit of burst action. We've moved it to the third position on the Super Selector.
Super semi-auto.
Little 2 shots here. That is really nice, and for a blowback 9,
that does seem
it's really
pretty
not
cool.
too bad in terms of the recoil. The way I wanted to just prevent out of batteries with this is I did replace the buffer with a KAK. I believe it's like I want to say like an 8 or 9 ounce buffer. It's kind of a heavier buffer meant for 9mm. So I did make that modification to just reassure myself.
Wait. So, hold on. He added a heavier buffer, but lightened the bolt carrier group? Why? Am I missing something? That seems like that's too much work for not very much. If you... The bolt carrier group and the buffer are moving together as one weight. Right? Am I missing something here? The ricers are out again.
That I wasn't going to get any out of batteries, because you can get those with AR9 sometimes, especially when you're doing the super safe activities. All right, let's just get rid of the rest of the mag here.
That was not a lot left in the mag.
I mean, the recoil is much more than like an MP5 or something. Let's try the subsonics.
The individual
now.
buffer
Out of our
weights
AV
move
take the ear pro
independently.
off.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes these
Okay.
flat nose Cellar and Bellets, the 150 grains, have a tough time running in these AR9s, but they're fed. So we'll see how it works here with our AB F4. Let's just go into the berm here. Oh, dude. That is so quiet. Flicker into the third position. I shoot it like this. Oh, we did get a jammo. I mean, that's probably my fault, honestly. Last round, I was shooting it upside down, for Christ's sake.
Shooting it upside
I
down,
shoot with my
not
puppy
against
on
the
range.
shoulder. He's limp
I'm an
wristing.
expert marksman. This is the pose they make. See if I can make the shot here. Oh! See, I told you.
Watching a
I'll snipe
PSR
her back
video with an
loser.
eye tracker
All right, time to move to the 5.56
would be
now.
dangerous.
All right, y'all ready? Now we got the UIC from American Defense Manufacturing. ADM makes awesome rifles that are, in my opinion, just as good as like Radian or Geisley.
Who does-
and they're just a little bit less money.
I need a streamer
right
who does
around
eye tracking
2,500,
stuff to
2,800
watch a
bucks.
PSR
I know it's
video.
a lot for a rifle, but
Like, just
this
the
thing
intro.
is
They don't have to
by
watch the
far
whole thing.
nicest rifle I own, and I really love it for competition use because you've got the ambi lever right here. When you're trying to show the RO that you've got your mag lock back, you just easy as that. You don't have to be doing any
Part of the bolt on
any
some
of this.
AR9 bolts
but,
interfere with the
showing
lever.
Clear chamber, and obviously just having the ambi
Specifically,
feature be able to
solid rear ones.
drop the bolt with your pointer finger is sick, and it's also ambi on the mag release. We got the KCI 21 rounders here, so we don't go through too much 5.56 today, but we're probably gonna go through quite a bit. There's a hit. 100 yards there, no problem. This thing is dialed.
Has anyone made a
Oh baby, what do you say?
burst reset trigger
Piss mode.
that has the little
Here we go.
ratchet on it, so it'll reset a certain number of times and then
Yeah, brother.
not reset?
Quick little KCI 30 here. Drop that friggin' bolt.
Not yet, as far
Let's
as
see
you
if
know.
I can give her shit. Now we need it.
Someone needs to make one. Someone needs to make a burst
Yeah.
reset trigger.
That's what I'm talking about! Yeah! This thing's getting me so torqued. Oh, Dick, we got her super hot. All right, next up, I want to show you guys some slow motion footage comparisons. We're going to actually take our Delta Team Tactical, and we're going to take our Super Safety and this Super Selector, and we are going to compare them and see what they look like in slow motion. For all of you who are doubting if this is a machine gun or not, we're going to actually show you each pull of the trigger for each round fire, and it's called a single
Slow-mo.
function of a trigger, and that's the legal definition, and we love it. All right, we'll show you that right now.
Time for some slow-mo. Yeah, that trigger's moving. On. Go back. I like that you can see in the slow-mo the delay of the initial recoil jolt and then when the bolt actually starts moving back. It's just a little bit of delay. It's cool to see. There's not a way to do that. The ratchet is reset every time the trigger is released, which is every shot on an FRT. So I think it might be possible. So if you have like a rotating ratchet that rotates each time
All right, I thought
the trigger
we
is
switch
pulled.
up the uppers now. We got our DOE. This is the Harrington.
Except it has like a
Department
blank
of
spot in
Energy
it.
SMG reproduction of the
Which
Colt DOE
doesn't
SMG.
reset the
and
trigger?
It is sick. It's like a little mini baby AR. Look how cute that is. We'll see how cute it
I
is
don't
when
know.
we put it into
Someone smarter than me
Super
probably
selector
needs to figure
mode.
that one out.
And give her absolute shit. Let's go. Oh, wow. That's like, I might have given myself a TBI there. Oh, dick. I'll do a couple semi-shots here. Super selector mode.
Matilda, I stand by my idea of putting
God.
two triggers
That is
next to each other.
insane. This thing fucks, dude. I think I dropped a shell casing or something.
Wow, that is
What are you looking at?
the quite
I
a
gotta
view.
fire this fucker out again. Oh, shit. Give her piss, will ya?
He needs to pay his cameraman more. Give this man's cameraman a raise.
Baby. I removed the KAK Colt mag conversion, so now we've got a full, regular mag well. It can take AR
You
mags.
don't push the
And I
trigger
figured
forward
let's
on
try the
last
300
shot.
blackout
Yeah.
just to make sure it works. I don't see why it shouldn't.
There's like
But here we go with the
once
Atrius Super
1 in
Selector
3
on 300
shots
blackout.
doesn't reset the
28
trigger.
rounds in the mag. Let's give her shit, eh?
It seems possible.
Dead trigger. Let's try it again.
Oh no.
Dead trigger? Yeah. You run into a light primer strike? Yeah, light primer strike. And it is a little bit gummed up, honestly. Maybe it needs some lube. Keep trying to keep going here.
Was this the super
There we go.
selector,
This
I
thing's quite
believe?
dirty, and I just only run it suppressed, usually with subsonic. Let's try another one. Let's try another one. Let's give her shit.
Why do people not clean their guns?
Knocked her over. Let's go. Oh, dick. All right, we took it off the 300 blackout. We got it on the POF 416 upper. This thing's awesome. Classic quad rail on here. It's a piston upper, and it's set on the suppressed setting with this Dead Air Lazarus 6 new can from them. It is 3D printed in Haynes 282, so it's pretty much indestructible, and we're gonna test it right now. Let's give her some piss. Oh, I'd say she works with the piston gun.
That piston upper does look pretty
I'd
cool.
say it can handle it. You all right there? I gave you a good brass shower. I'm so sorry. All right, last upper we're gonna test is this PSA. I got the Midwest Industries front sight post rail on here, M-Lock. It's so sick. And we're gonna go unsuppressed because I just love how this thing just thumps. It's just like, it chugs. Here we go, let it chug.
That one does have a nice chug
Dude,
to it.
It
That
feels like
is
it doesn't even move. That's crazy. That compensator is what makes it feel like that. Holy shit.
that is a satisfying
Oh, baby.
gun
All
right
now
there.
it's time to get to the real reason you came to this video, and that's for demolition purposes. And demolition purposes only on our giant Johnson. Let's get to work.
Glocks Johnson.
All right, I'm gonna try to do a little skeet
Armalite's
shooting. We're gonna do
Johnson.
this safely, so I'm gonna wait till it gets below the berm. If I don't hit it, then we might just have to do some demolition while it's on the ground. See how many mags it takes to absolutely cut her in half. Mr. Long Johnson, thanks to AdamandEve.com. Did I hit her? Let's check it out.
I don't think he hit it.
One. And that speaks to the effectiveness of your forced reset mode, really. I mean, laying down suppressive fire, that's really what it's for, and having fun at the range. People think machine guns are so scary, but honestly, they're not really effective for accuracy. Only got one little like graze right there. So I think that means we gotta finish her off.
This feels very graphic.
Look at this.
It's on YouTube, so it's fine, right?
We really actually are still quite intact. I think that's actually still fully operational. I'm a little disappointed. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. It's the dong.
Boy
that just
Boy has
won't
been
die.
real quiet
God, I can't
about
really
gun
find any
guys'
more holes we can put
sexuality
in,
since this
honestly.
dropped.
All right, well.
Yeah, I want to see Boy Boy
turns
react
out
to
these
this
are pretty,
one.
battle tested, honestly.
React to
Shouts out to
PSR.
Adam and Eve for making a very battle tested product. All right, dear partner, we did some absolute demolition work today with these rifles. Well,
What
this
kind of
pistol and
suppressor
this
is that?
rifle.
He said at
Holy
the
shit.
beginning,
The Atrius Super Selector.
and I don't remember.
Absolutely fucks. I am super impressed with it. I mean, the Super Safety might be a little bit less expensive because it's kind of got the DIY element to it, but the Atrius for those people that really want that 3-position FRT, you know, the traditional safety selector, go into the 3rd position.
Red one.
This thing is
The red
absolutely for you
suppressor?
because the install is
The
fairly
red
straightforward.
silicone
It's not quite
suppressor?
like as easy as a drop-in cassette. At the end of the day, you're probably wondering which one of these should I get. Should Super Safety,
he
the
made
Delta
it.
Team
PSR made a
Tactical,
whole nother
and
video
the
about
Super Selector by Atrius.
the red
It
silicone
depends on what your
suppressor.
use case is. If you want to use
can look that one
an
up in your own
MCX
time.
to have an FRT, then definitely go with the Delta Team Tactical. If you want just an AR platform, like an AR9 like this or like this, to be honest, I would choose the Atrius. Curious to run this a little bit more. We did take these things apart and just check to see if there was any damage or peening to the levers, and
I
there
want to
was
see
no
it
damage or peening to the
in an
levers.
AR-10.
This looks like when we put it in, there's no like gouging or peening or anything like that. So that's a really good sign as far as longevity goes. The other issue I experienced with the Delta Team Tactical trigger was when it was in my SD AR9, the Broad River Tactical one, it got quite dirty to the point where it actually stopped functioning because it was so gummed up and dirty. I think if you're shooting 223
Just clean your gun
unsuppressed,
then.
or even 300 blackout unsuppressed, it's probably fine. But when you start
Clean
to
your
suppress with
guns.
these FRTs, particularly the cassette ones, that's when they can sometimes get a little gummed up,
AR-10
filled with
requires a
carbon,
special
and then
lever?
you'd get into reliability issues.
I
Something
guess-
tells me with
I
the Super
guess it
Safety
would.
and this, because it's a safety design and you're using just a normal mil-spec trigger, it's going to be a lot harder for that to happen.
Let's be honest, I can't afford
it's pretty
to shoot
simple.
308
I don't think it's gonna run into
FRT
those
anyways.
reliability issues as much. I was told that it'd be a good idea to put some lube in that Super Selector, so I did put a little bit of lube in it. Never had any issues. We did run into a little bit of issues with this guy because I didn't put an H3 buffer in it. I actually had the original, just normal carbine buffer in it. So definitely H2, H3 is probably what you're gonna want, and especially a heavier buffer, maybe 9 to 11 ounce buffer in the AR9s if you're gonna run this thing, because you don't wanna run into an out of battery. I would recommend going to KAK for that. They make a bunch of different buffers. This thing ran awesome. The DOE upper was so sick. That little thing just, it rips, dude. I really like the way
The
this
DOE
shoots.
is so fun,
This cam,
even just in
super
semi-auto.
awesome. Love the AB cam. Honestly, super
AB cam.
light and
There you go.
pretty quiet. Not quite as quiet
There
as
you
the
go.
longer one, but
That's
for the
the kind of
size and the
suppressor
weight, I just think this is perfect for like a sub gun
that
like
you weren't
this.
asking
Conclusions
about,
on the
but-
Atrius, I
There you
give it
go.
a thumbs up at $200, and I think they said that the Ambi one's going to be like $260 or $240 at that price. Still half the price of the Delta Team Tactical. I mean, it's hard to beat. And honestly, if it goes to the point where Rare Breed doesn't start suing every single manufacturer of anyone doing anything remotely related to FRTs,
Yeah, that's what
which
Rare
is
Breed
probably
is
what's
doing.
going to happen. If that doesn't happen, then we're going to see a ton of competition in the market, which will probably only bring the prices down on these things. So I think it's a good time for these triggers. I really do like the design of this because it is the traditional 3-position, and even without that Torx screw on here, it never came out. I put a little Loctite on there, no issues at all. If you had this on like a belt fed, that would be pretty awesome. Just for the plinking, having fun at the range stuff, this is a fun toy.
Where's
to
the
have in a gun.
M249?
And with the mil-spec trigger, you don't really
Give me the
sacrifice much in terms of
M249
just if you're just
active
gonna run
reset
it like
trigger.
a normal semi-auto gun. I give it a thumbs up. Like I said, good job, Atrius. This thing definitely fucks. I hope to see you guys on the next episode. Guys, you can support me on Patreon if you want. That helps, goes a long way towards expenses. I do pay for the range time here. Every little bit goes a long way. Got early access to my videos, access to my music, and getting in the end credits and stuff like that. Guys, thanks so
Patreon.
much for watching another
Not
episode of
Fansly?
PSR. I love you guys. See you on the next one. Bye.
Let's be honest. If there was any gun tuber who would have a Fansly, it'd be PSR. I mean, come on, just if you need more proof, just watch the intro to that video again. All right. We've got more guns to clean, chat. We took a little break from cleaning guns. Watched a super fast trigger video. Only printers. It's your PSR fan service and any CAD files you may need. I didn't shoot this gun a whole lot, so I expect that it's not going to be very dirty. But we're still going to take it apart anyways. So for those who are unfamiliar with these guns, it's a Rost Martin. It is a smaller company. They are based in Dallas, Texas, as it says right there on the slide. pretty large. And these are very... Honestly, I was pretty impressed. This was my first time shooting it. And it's not going to replace my everyday carry, because I already have everything set up for my everyday carry. But this is a very nice gun. It's got everything you could want from a carry gun, including a nice trigger pull. So the trigger pull on this, we are still empty. The trigger pull on this, little take up, very crisp break. Reset, very crisp, and goes again. The trigger on this is surprisingly nice for a carry gun, especially from a small company making guns that are not too expensive. I'm gonna be honest, this gun still was an impulse acquisition, and so I have no emotional attachment to it, and so it may not be remaining in my collection for very long. But if nothing else, it's good to try out. It is a gun that I would honestly be able to recommend people at least consider for a carry gun. Looks well made. It feels well made. And they're also not expensive, which is a big plus. LR308 Super Safety. So this is the 308 version. Is that supposed to be split like that? Or did that happen due to wear? Oh, someone asked. It's key to function. The top lever must bend out of the way of the hammer cam surface, but pop up to engage the trip point. Okay, there we go. Found the answer to my question. That is, in fact, supposed to be split like that. There you go. Found the answer. All right. Now, to take this gun apart. For anyone who is expecting this gun to come apart normally, because it looks like it should. This gun looks like it should come apart normally, and kind of it does. So you've got your takedown lever right there, and you can pull that down. It's very hard to with gloves. The lever pulls down and doesn't come off. So like a Glock, you do have to pull the trigger. And then once you pull the trigger, the slide just falls off the top. So as long as you're not opposed to having to pull the trigger to disassemble the gun, this gun comes apart almost uncomfortably easy. I think our cloth moved. Scoot that back up. And then inside, it is basically just a Glock. A recoil spring, tilting barrel, slide. And so we're going to clean it just like you clean a Glock. Put that down there. Let that sit for a little bit. Let it run down and then sit. Oh, that'll balance there. Hopefully that doesn't fall and scratch anything else. Oh, and another thing about this gun. This is This is going to be a super autistic thing to care about. But on this gun, the markings, if you're looking on the frame for markings, manufacturer, serial number, if you're looking in all the standard places, you're not going to see anything, which is because they are in here underneath the trigger guard, right in there. Which, if you want a sleek looking gun, excellent place to put your markings, inside the trigger guard. Fantastic. Good job. Good job, Rost Martin. Everyone else slaps their markings real big and out in the open and obvious. And I like it not like that. I just wished importers would do that. Instead of slapping huge markings in inconvenient places. All right, this is not going to be a very dirty gun because I didn't shoot it a lot. Just shot a couple mags through it just to kind of test it out, see how I felt about it. And it is a pretty nice gun, but it is just standard compact tilting barrel feeling gun. It's also making squeaking noises. Oh my goodness, it's so squeaky. Why is this one so squeaky? Why is it doing that? Maybe I need to keep this gun. It's so squeaky. Why? I've never cleaned a gun and had it squeak at me this much before. All right. I think that's... There we go. Almost forgot. Almost forgot the most important part. The breech face. Something tells me that gun needs to really be cleaned. I mean, I've only shot this once. This gun has had a total of 30 rounds through it. Ever. Because it has 15 round magazines. I shot 2 mags. Is cleaning a percussion black powder revolver a lot dirtier to clean? Yes, absolutely. Black powder is filthy. So if you are cleaning anything black powder, you are really cleaning. Black powder also stains. It'll stain metal. So if you have a particularly bright finish metal, like a brass finish or something, then after you shoot it once, it will never look the same. Oh. Okay. Our recoil spring has disassembled itself because I did not realize that that was 2 pieces. Why? Why would they do that? Why? Yeah, I figured out how to put this thing back together. Okay, well, I got the first side on, or the second side on, but now the side that was already on came off. There we go. Okay. Goodness sakes. Well, the more you know. It's still not quite on there, right? There we go. So, this little buffer looking thingy on the end is in fact a 2-piece plastic piece that will pop off if you compress the spring. Not a fan of that particular design decision. Once you get a black powder gun in your hands, enjoy it while you can, because that's as good as it's ever gonna look. Yeah. Not even the best gun cleaner will clean it. Lucas CLP I found is good to remove everything. No, so black powder literally will have a chemical reaction with the metal of your gun and will literally change the color and the composition of the metal. So unless you literally are going to buff off a microscopic layer of metal, it will not look the same. Now it will be better if I don't need this whole rod. It's too long. It will be better if you use like a Pyrodex instead of a true black powder. So do keep that in mind. But it still will eventually get to the point that it's just a different color. GoX black powder, I heard, is the best. I guess it'll stain it fast. Maybe. I don't shoot a lot of black powder. So I don't know a ton about black powders. I have a black powder revolver, as well as all of the equipment to shoot it. I just have never gotten around to it. There you go. That one easy to clean. Let's get the frame. Let's get the frame. Forgot about the frame. Who needs gun cleaner when you have a grinder with black powder? You got a grinder account? Black powder grinder account? I don't even know what that means. Where am I? There it is. All right. This gun didn't get shot a whole lot, so this will be super easy clean. I read on black powder that rust almost happens right after shooting, and they highly recommend cleaning, lubing after shooting. Yes, absolutely. And that is because of the chemical reaction that black powder has on the finish of your gun. So black powder guns are actively trying to destroy themselves every time you use them. All right, this one, honestly, it probably would have been fine. Entirely acceptable to not clean this gun at all. Like this Q-tip is barely discolored. Getting the rails there. There's a little bit of something in the rails, not a lot though. And there we go. And that's this one. Now let's lubricate it. It's wild how black powder pew-pews are basically self-deleting, itself if not taken care of immediately. Yeah. It's just like your mental health, you know? As soon as you start taking care of it, then you start self-deleting. So you got to take care of yourself, just like your black powders. Perfect. Perfect analogy. No holes could be poked in that one. All right, and lubed up. Just a drop in there. That was a very large drop. Let's remove some of that. And the reassembly, where you just kind of slap this back on, go on. There we go. The disassembly and reassembly of this gun, it's not strange. It's not a strange sequence of operations you have to do to assemble or disassemble this gun. But oh my goodness, this gun just falls apart and then basically falls back together when you're done. Well, kind of slaps back together. There you go. That gun cleaned. Easiest gun to clean. Had the least amount of rounds through it by quite a bit. Zoom out. A pile of garbage. Yeah, you want to play pick up sticks? It's really fun. It's probably impossible. Because every time you touch something, it's attached to something else. Literal impossible game of pick up sticks. And there we go. I still have to clean the Taurus. But I didn't shoot very many rounds through it because the optic died. And also it's a huge pain to clean on stream. So I think I'm just going to do that when I get around to it. Ugh. My hands are gross and sweaty. Why are you wearing your rings over the cleaning gloves? Well, they don't fit inside the cleaning gloves very well. Also, I think it's funny. And and that's all the reason I need. Hold on. Pick up garbage. This is my little tiny garbage bag. How are people gonna know that it's my hands in those gloves without the rings on it? It's like branding. Now they dirty the rings. Yeah, but not as dirty as my whole hands would be if I wasn't wearing the gloves. What was the optic that died? It was the Vortex holographic, and it didn't like die. The battery died. I just have to replace the battery. It like the optic itself is fine. Let's extend that stock so I can pretend it's not there. I just need to replace the battery. The optic itself is fine. The Taurus killed it. The Taurus drained all the juice out of the battery. The Taurus didn't kill it. The Taurus is a good gun. Honestly, the Taurus CT9 is an incredibly pleasant gun to shoot. Like it, you guys know that I like the Taurus, but it's still annoying how pleasant of a gun it is to shoot. I need someone to make an active reset trigger for my super niche gun. What time is it? Oh, it's almost midnight already. Oh my goodness. Already? What on earth? Would a USC trigger fit in it? In the Taurus? I don't think so. Now, if you had an SMT trigger or a FAME trigger, SAF FAME trigger, that probably would fit in there. Because it is a derivative of the FAME SAF. Unfortunately, There's not a whole lot of those in the States either. My cat's name is Kit Kat. The founding fathers intended us to have RPG launchers. Well, the reason that the founding fathers were able to fight off the British was because they had military grade weapons, or better than military grade weapons of the time. Strong first chat though. Not necessarily incorrect. Very powerful. Oh, then I need to edit down the yesterday's stream. Gotta edit down yesterday's stream so I can put that on YouTube about the history of Calico. So that I'm gonna try to have that dropping tomorrow. The YouTube video for the history of Calico. Because the first gun deep dive I did, edited, put on YouTube, it's got almost 500 views now. Which, for a fledgling, little itty bitty tiny YouTube channel such as myself, pretty good. That's pretty good. I don't know what gun do we deep dive next, chat? We've got a week if I'm gonna do it every Saturday, which it does kind of seem bold. It seems like a lot to do every Saturday. Still gonna try though. All right, chat. It's been 3.5 hours. It's been a 3.5 hour stream. We have done everything that I had planned for stream, plus a little more.
Deploying reinforcements.
JD489 just followed on Twitch.
JD489, thank you for the follow. Welcome. I haven't used my gun gotcha today. Boop. CZTS2. Wow. I almost bought one of those. That's... I say that like it means something. I've almost bought so many guns. But I do think it's gonna be... We're going to be getting about to the time of the stream where we're going to be needing to be raiding out, unfortunately. Unless someone has any divine inspiration for something to talk about. We are going to be raiding out. So, let's see, is anyone... the only person I'm following on Kick who is currently streaming is Leaf. So who do we raid? We could raid Leaf. We could raid Leaf on Twitch and Hoster on Kick. I mean, I think that's what we're gonna do. I think that's what we're gonna do. Yesterday, or maybe the day before, Leaf had guns out on stream. She was showing off her guns. She had a whole lot of handguns out. She was flexing at everyone with her HKs and her FNs. I think the HKs are mostly her mother's, but Faloo, what's Faloo mean? Faloo yourself. Missed that Leaf stream? The VOD's probably still there. If you want to go back and watch it. Grizz, hello, welcome, Grizz, welcome Raiders. Last seen playing War Thunder. Welcome. How was War Thunder? Were any classified documents released on War Thunder today? I feel like War Thunder forums are always releasing classified documents for why? No one knows. Alright, chat. We were gonna raid out. We were just getting ready to raid out. But now that we got another raid in. Hello Raiders, and welcome. For those who don't know me, I am the X-Count. I'm gonna do an actual intro this time. Oh my goodness. But we just finished cleaning the guns that we shot on the 4th of July. So the 635, the Grand Power, the super speedy trigger Glock, and the Rost Martin. That was very, very cool. I do don't know where that accent came from. I do need to at some point make an actual full YouTube video on this gun / this trigger. As soon as I get it tuned just a little better, I'm gonna get a couple different weight recoil springs to see which one works best with the active reset trigger. Because this gun, for those who don't know what an active reset trigger is, this is empty. Whenever you pull the trigger, as the gun cycles, it will push your trigger finger forward so that you can pull the trigger again really fast when it is in battery again. And I have to because I did receive this trigger for free. I do have to say where it came from. So this trigger is the Pembleton G-Spot trigger. If you're looking for an active reset trigger, you're not going to find a cheaper one. $40. This is less than half of the price of the cheapest other active or forced reset trigger I've seen. Pembleton is back. They got the problem solved. I think the problem was that Pembleton went on vacation for a while. I think the problem was that he went on a long like scuba trip or vacation or something. And then he got back, and then this stuff went back up. It was only down for a couple weeks. Hopefully all is good. All is good as far as I know. But yeah, these triggers available both. I guess the metal one is more expensive, both in polymer and metal pre-order. I have the nylon one. It's very fun. It is a very fun trigger. I'm a big fan. And I have to show the slow motion video. Oh, I have to pause my music. I pause my music for the full effect. So this is from when I was shooting on the 4th of July. These are not my hands. I don't know if you can tell. My hands look a little different. This is my dad shooting this gun. My dad is generally a better pistol shot than I am. So got some high-speed recording of him shooting it, because this absolute legend that is my father can keep this in an A zone. So a nice super fast build drill in slow motion. It's such fun. It's so fun. Six shots, and the first piece of brass is like not even halfway to the ground. It's so good. Now Pemby is working on his pilot's license now that he's got his scuba license. Yeah, I wonder if he's going through a midlife crisis, perhaps. He's running his like firearms accessories business. He got his scuba's license, going scuba diving, going for a pilot's license. He's a busy guy for sure. Is there a normal speed version with full capacity mag? There is, hold on. There's one that I posted a long time ago. So here we go. This one, this is the first time I was shooting it. Ichiro, you have a barrel blockage in your Glock 17? Just shoot another round through it. It'll clear it out, I'm sure. Don't worry about it. That's terrible advice. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Does it have an even faster Fortunate Son? Now this one just has generic funk music. This was my first time shooting it. Can you tell by the not quite perfect recoil control? There you go. It wasn't a whole mag. I stopped in the middle because I was a coward. But there you go. If I re-recorded that, I could do better, for sure. I think there was, hold on. I do have a video. Let me get it somewhere where I can put it on stream real quick. I have a video. It is another slow motion video. But it had a malfunction in the middle. And the video was very cool. So let me pull that up real quick. Copy link. Are you gonna make me open it like that? Okay. Fine. Fine. Be that way. Gonna need a full uninterrupted mag dump for the vid. Yeah. There have been very few full uninterrupted mag dumps because it's very cool, but the more ammo is in the magazine, the less reliable it gets. And so if you have like 10 or less rounds in the magazine, then it works fine. But as soon as you start adding more, I think the friction of all the whatever is going on in the mag starts messing with it. So I think this one only was like 3 or 4 shots. But watch the brass. You gotta watch the brass coming out. The brass collides midair and then had a failure to feed. But the brass colliding midair was so cool. This was a case of the gun cycled too fast. And so it left a giant gouge in the side of the brass case as it came forward because it didn't grab the back of it. The 2 brass cases colliding midair. So cool. Very neat. It's a cool video. Aside from just like being a malfunction and only 3 shots. The cases colliding midair is very, very neat. Yeah, I'm going to get a couple different weights of recoil springs so that I can try them out, see which one works best, and go from there. Yeah. It is working better than the first time I took it out. But it's still not to the point where it is working as much as I would like it to. So definitely I'm going to get a couple recoil springs. I also probably am going to like take apart, clean, and like be sure I've got a pristine mag. Maybe do a very light lubrication. Be sure nothing's going to be sticking anywhere so that it has the best chance of working. Yeah, this is very fun. Very fun gun. Highly recommend the super fast trigger. Especially if you thought that you were not spending enough on ammo. Because let me tell you, 100 rounds of 147 grain goes really fast when you're shooting it that fast. And it's a lot of fun. But you can kind of feel your wallet emptying as you just pump lead downrange. I need someone to make an active reset trigger for 22. Is that the new APX? No. So on the table, we have the 635 clone, the Grand Power Excalibur Mark 12, custom Glock, and Rost Martin. I think this is probably what you were talking about. It's not APX. This is Rost Martin. They're a pretty new company, and I definitely got this on an impulse. But it's a pretty sleek looking gun. And Rost Martin, yes, just like that. If you are looking for a carry gun with a nice trigger from the factory, this one honestly is very nice. That gun there is Croatian on top. So the Grand Power is Slovakian. So this gun, the trigger on it is, you've got a little take up, very crisp break, reset is short. It is an impressively good trigger for particularly how much the guns cost. And this one, Grand Power, Slovakian, European competition pistol. This is a rotating barrel. You can zoom in again. A rotating barrel pistol. This is probably the most pleasant shooting pistol I own. Like, if you're just looking for like repeatable shots, staying on target, this is an incredible pistol. Obviously, if I'm, not including things like the Calico, which just on its own, standalone, very nice recoil. But it's large frame. Is Rost Martin a Glock clone? Yes. Rost Martin, it's pretty much a Glock clone. It's not exactly the same, so it's not going to have any interchangeable parts. It takes metal mags. The mags are not expensive. I think they're like $25. I'm not sponsored either. But I've showed this a couple times today because we did clean this. So we are empty. The takedown on this gun is almost the same as a Glock. So take up magazine, it is empty. You got the lever you pull down. But the thing about this gun is, as soon as you pull the trigger, the top just separates. It's like it comes, excuse me while I slap my mic. The disassembly on this thing is so crazy. And then reassembly, you kind of just like slap it back on. There we go. So the disassembly on this is so, it feels so strange because the top, as soon as it's decocked, just falls off. Like I don't know how the slide stays on, but it does. And you just kind of slap it back together. It's a strange gun. It feels so strange to put together and take apart. It feels almost too easy. But I did shoot it for the first time on the 4th of July. It does shoot really well. It's got not a super low bore axis, but it does have a reasonably low bore axis. It's a nice gun. Unfortunately, it's not going to replace my carry gun because I already have that all set up. So this gun may disappear at some point from my collection because I have little to no emotional attachment to it. It's a good gun though. .1911 carry gun will never be replaced. I have a 1911 that I carry sometimes. Only when I'm open carrying though. which is not as often as I would like it to be. I do open carry 1911 every now and then when I'm feeling particularly like I want people staring at me at the grocery store. And it's got anime on it. It's got anime on the 1911. All right. All right. Found a VOD of Leaf streaming her gun. Looks like 3 days ago. I guess it would be 3 days ago now. It's past midnight. I think it was her 4th of July stream. It could have been the day before. I think it was her 4th of July stream. Leaf streamed guns. Just flex on everybody. Yeah, guns. Watch it and see what's good. I watched it when she was live. Pre-watched content. I don't remember everything she had. She had a couple Springfields. She had an FN Reflex. FN Reflex, honestly, kind of underrated. Underrated for carry guns in the modern market. Most people are going SIG P365 of some kind. That or the Glock 43 or 43X. Those are probably the top two. I do think it's going to be about time. It's going to be about that time of day. We made it to 4 hours, or we will by the time we raid out. Hope she gets the HK VP9A1 full size, or her mom does. I think Leaflet's mom, Asari, is more in the HK fangirl. Glock Roomba, on this fine morning, hello. I guess technically it is AM. Technically morning. Based mom, rooting for her to get full-size HK. She probably will. She probably will. Alright, we are going to raid out though. So, already 8 a.m. here on the other side of the pond. How it goes, we're about to raid out. You got here right at the end. Right at the end. We've cleaned all our guns. We've done some React Andying. I showed off some footage of me shooting over the 4th of July. Not a lot of footage. It's just a little tiny snippet. I'll start a Patreon. Post more footage of me shooting. Actually, hold on. Would anyone pay for that? Would anyone pay for that Patreon? Just me shooting random guns from my collection? All good. It was good seeing you. Hope the cleaning was fun and thorough. It was. We cleaned these 4 guns: 635, Grand Power, Super Fast Glock, Rost Martin. So we are going to be raiding out though. So we are going to raid Leaflet. We might have raided Leaflet recently. I don't remember. I don't remember. Oh well, we're still gonna raid Leaflet because I can raid. Oh no, I raided Leaflet only on Kick last time. Okay. Okay, we're gonna raid Leaflet on both Twitch and Kick. We'll see how Kick feels about hosting. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it does not. Oh, it worked first try. Okay, Kick, Kick hosts happen fast. I'll see you guys later.
It is.
Not all is lost.
All right. And now for Twitch, I appreciate you all very much. Thank you everyone for all of the hanging out. Thank you for the raids. We got a lot of raids today. Thank you for the follows, all the appreciation today. I appreciate you all very much. And I will be back. I'll be back tomorrow. Maybe. If nothing else, I will release a schedule for next week tomorrow. So, I appreciate you all very much. Oh, we got raid messages. Raid messages. Grab your raid messages real fast. Grab them. Raid messages both for subscribers and non-subscribers. So, until next time, I will see you all next time. I appreciate you all very much. I'm going to bed, so good night. Bye.